What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are here back inside of Build-A-Boat once again, and today we are going to be talking about tools and future tools that could be added to build a boat for treasure. Some tools that look like they won't be added to the game. It looks like there was one tool that was super close of being added but never actually got finalized inside of Build-A-Boat. We're going to be talking about some changes that some of these tools that we already have could be implemented to the game. For those of you guys that don't know, we recently just got a giant travel tool update in one of the most recent updates of Build-A-Boat, where they actually added the mirror right here, so you can mirror block. So there's still a bunch of things that they could add to the tools, and we're going to talk about some of them in this video. And of course, we're going to be talking about a potential brand new tool that could be added to Build-A-Boat for treasure. So make sure to stay tuned. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. We're not going to waste any more time. Let's hop straight into it. So first thing I actually want to talk about is changes that could be added with the current tools that we have. This is from a bunch of people who suggested multiple ideas. I've had some comments about them, and we're going to be going over them. So number one, as you guys may know, we have a drag select for some of the tools inside of the game. So you guys can see what the drag select does. If you actually hold down, you can drag select on a bunch of these items. Like this right here, you can drag select for the mirror. It's super convenient instead of individually clicking on blocks. So they actually have this available for the travel tool and the property tool, and also they do not have it for the paint tool or bind tool or scale tool. So I wonder if they're going to make it so one day you're able to drag select with the scale tool and then scale items from there, because currently right now you're unable to do that. But they did add it to the property and travel, so maybe they'll do it inside the future for the scale tool. Same thing with the bind tool. If you wanted to bind multiple things instead of doing them individually at once, that you could have a drag select, that would also be pretty convenient. And same thing with like the paint tool. If instead of individually holding down, I know this is pretty quick by doing it like this, but I wonder if they'll ever add a drag select with the paint as well, so that way you can actually color blocks way faster. And also, a little secret, a lot of you guys probably don't know about the paint tool. If you actually click this bar on top that shows the color, it actually hides the menu of the paint tool, so you don't have to have it on your screen the entire time. So that's just a little fun fact right there. Now, another thing that I've seen a lot of people recommend is to actually add the degrees of some of the tools inside of the game. Now, what I mean by that, let's say that we have this throne right here and we wanted to actually rotate it. So using the property tool, using the travel tool right here, you guys can see how we can actually rotate items. So you can set the scale to rotate, 15, 45 degrees, just like that. But for those of you guys that don't know, inside of Roblox Studio, it shows you the exact rotation number that you're trying to rotate to as you're rotating. So you guys can see right here, I'm inside of Roblox Studio. Now, as you guys can see, I have a single block right here. Now, if I were to actually rotate this, you guys will see right here that it actually shows the degrees that I'm turning it at, and the stud count right there. So some players in Build-A-Boat for treasure are requesting this. Now, I feel like that, I don't know if that would work in Build-A-Boats. Maybe it would, maybe it won't, but it is definitely an interesting idea. But if you guys have any ideas of like things that they should add to the current tools that we have inside of Build-A-Boat right now, let me know down below, because they're always adding like new properties you can do to blocks. We saw that with the springs that got added. So if we actually go right here, the rope, for example, we click on properties, you guys can see they add the length right there. So they're always adding new stuff to the property tool based on the new blocks that get added. So if you have any ideas of like permanent changes they should do, like for example, like the mirror, anything like that, let me know down below. But now I want to talk about potential new tools that could be coming to build a boat for treasure. And then at the end of the video, we're going to be talking about the tool that almost got added, or was very likely of getting added to build a boat, but it looks like that it won't ever be coming out, or at least not yet for a very long time. All right, so you guys can see I'm currently back inside of Roblox Studio as an example. So inside of Roblox Studio, you guys can see we have the select tool, we have the move tool, we have the rotate, the scale, the basic things. And we have this stuff in Build-A-Boat for treasure already, but the one thing that Build-A-Boat doesn't really have, I mean, it kind of has it, is the transform tool right here. So what this would do is it's kind of like a scale tool, and it's kind of like a rotate tool combined. I don't know if this is completely necessary in Build-A-Boats. Let me know down below your thoughts on it. But essentially what it is here is you could transform this to do essentially anything you want. Okay, so it has a built-in with these little blocks right here. You can do that to change the actual scale going this way, scale going that way, and you guys can see it's different from your normal scale tool, because with the scale tool you'd have to go like this. You can only rotate like one side at a time. Now with the transform tool, you can kind of do both at the same time. So this right here, I'm extending this way, I'm extending that way. I can move it like this. So I don't know, maybe this would be convenience, but this is like one of like the only things that's inside of Roblox Studio that's like not inside of Build a Boat for Treasure. So let me know down below your thoughts. Would you guys want something like this? Also would have the grid below it as well. Would this help you when you build? Let me know inside the comments. Now, the next tool that could be added in the future of Build a Boat for Treasure, I'm not saying it is, but it is definitely an idea, and that is a chisel tool. Now, what exactly a chisel tool is, for those of you guys that don't know, right here, a chisel tool is a wedged hand tool with characteristically shaped cutting edge on the end of its blade for carving or cutting a hard material. So essentially what that is for is like, you know, creating round materials, taking a block that's like, you know, your normal wood block, but with the pointy ends right there, using a chisel tool to basically break the block and carve it to whatever you want. Now, they could add it so you can basically use the tool to customize how the block looks, like with your hand, like by using your mouse and like cutting edges of the block. I've seen that be suggested, but what I've also seen it be suggested is that the tool essentially opens up a menu of how you can actually turn certain materials into different shapes. Like, for example, let's just say that we wanted to take this normal plastic block. So let's say we have this plastic block and then we wanted to turn it into like a cone, or we wanted to turn it into a sphere. We would use the chisel tool to do so, and it would look something like this. So you guys can see right here, I'm inside of Roblox Studio once again, and like you would be able to get all these different like shapes with the tool. Mainly, like, I want to say, let's just take these right here. You know, we have like this corner, we have this like, you know, cylinder, then we have the sphere right here, and you could even go more in depth, potentially, maybe even on a later date. They could, you know, obviously update it and make like cool like triangles, so that way we can have different shapes and materials other than the basic block that we already have. Now, they already kind of have this with like, you know, this wood slab right here, or this wood wedge. We also have this corner wedge as well. But imagine these blocks, but with other materials. So just the thought right there. But now I want to get into one update that we know is still to come out to Build a Boat, and I want to get into the deleted tool that looks like it'll never be added. So we're all pretty much aware of the secret room right here, and there's pretty much one last thing inside of this room that needs to come out to the game, or I guess two things, before the room is complete. So inside this room right here, there's all these pedestals with, you know, new updates to be added. This one right here is pointing at the 0.001 scaling, which they actually introduced to Roblox Studio, I want to say a couple years ago, and it's been a couple years now. We still have not had the 0.001 scaling update in Build a Boat, so it looks like it's still possible because it's still in the pedestal, so there's still that to look forward to as well. So it looks like they're definitely still planning on making more additional changes to the tools that we already have inside of the game. But now I want to get into one tool that people had a lot of mixed feelings about. So this was a model made by the owner right here, where it's a blueprint, okay? Obviously, this is going to be a blueprint tool of something. This was created on July 12th of 2021, so definitely a few years ago. But before this was actually uploaded, the owner said, here's an idea. What if we found builds made by the community and then added them to the shop? Something like spend an X amount of gold for blueprints to this build. What do you all think? Maybe include some credits and reward the original builder, and the player would need the necessary blocks to own. So essentially how it would work is you'd have a pre-built boat that you literally just place down. It would cost you gold to place it, but you'd also need the necessary blocks in order to place the boat. But we haven't seen that thing came out to the game at all. Like, that has not been added at all. It's been, what, almost 3 years now, so I don't think that'll ever get added. And plus, it takes a lot of the creativity out of the game itself, so a lot of players are having some mixed feelings about it. Some players really liked the idea, and some players did not like it at all. But if you guys have any ideas for future tools that they could add to Build a Boat for Treasure, let me know down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Be sure to drop a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all inside of the next one. Peace out, and goodbye.